Okay, who left Sanderson alone unattended for like 5 minutes because he wrote another book? What? I don't get how he does it. As a writer, it's so frustrating that this man can run a company and still write this many books as well. Okay, technically co-wrote, but it's still wild. Just announced by Simon & Schuster, we have Songs of the Dead by Brandon Sanderson and Peter Orullian. And Songs of the Dead is coming out June 16th, 2026. A London rocker is faced with a life or death choice when he realises that a powerful society of magic wielders are the only ones keeping London safe. In this deft, contemporary fantasy, co-written by #1 New York's best-selling author Brandon Sanderson with author and musician Peter Orullian. The main character, Jack Solomon, is killed and he awakens in a new reality, Andrew. The word is reality, in which light and music are used to create magic. And I saw this compared to Brutal Legend and Spinal Tap. There's so much to talk about here. What? So this is really interesting, having this metal singer. So it is someone from our world who is brought into a fantasy world, which is something that Sanderson hasn't done before that I know of. And also the fact that the magic is tied to this lighting and this music. It completely makes sense why Peter Orullian, because he is a musician, is brought on to write this book. And if the title Songs of Dead sounds familiar, that's because Sanderson has talked about this project before. Yeah, it's been quite a regular inclusion in his State of Sanderson. He has talked quite a bit about the process of this book and how it's coming along, but it's still wild that it was just dropped. I remember when the State of Sanderson first came out, we all talked about how there's kind of this gap in his schedule because he's writing the third era of Mistborn altogether. It makes no difference. He's still releasing multiple books a year. It's insane. And this one sounds really good, so it is planned to be a trilogy. And the comp titles, I don't know if you played Brutal Legend on the PS3, but that was such a fun game. And as someone who is into music, and in particular metal music, combining this with one of my favourite authors of all time, Brandon Sanderson, it just perfectly fits like two random interests that I did not think would ever intersect: heavy metal and Brandon Sanderson. I even wrote an instrumental song on guitar years ago based off of a scene in one of Brandon Sanderson's books called Honor is Dead. This is so cool. I'm so excited for this. Also, what's really interesting is this novel has been planned for a long time. According to the Coppermind, it was first mentioned in 2010, and he wrote the majority of a novel-length story before 2013, but had many flaws, so he didn't want to publish it. So it makes sense that he has co-written it with Peter Orullian, as he is a musician, as well as an author himself. He is the author of The Unremembered, Unbound, as well as having a story in Unfettered, which is absolutely wild because the Unfettered short story collection has authors like Robert Jordan, Terry Brooks, Brandon Sanderson, Tad Williams. So he's not an author I was familiar with, but he clearly has that backlog of work that really shows him to be a very impressive writer. I'm curious to know if it also has some humor aspects to it. For those who don't know, the other comp title, Spinal Tap, is this British metal band comedy that really kind of pokes fun at the sort of 80s metal time, and just with a lot of really silly humor, such as the big famous one is turning an amp up to 11 and someone pointing out that that's just allowed or 10 because 10 is the max. The fact that there's 11 doesn't make any difference. It's silly humor, but it's really effective, especially if you're a musician. You'll probably find it quite funny. What's quite interesting is the sequel, Spinal Tap 2, is coming out this year, 2025, which is really strange, coincidental timing because the original came out in the 80s, I think. Yeah, the original is a mockumentary comedy film that came out in 1984. So the fact that we just happen to be getting the second film around the time of this announcement is crazy timing. As I am filming this, I've not seen anyone really talk about this online yet, so I just kind of want to make this video, talk a bit about my feelings, because this, again, it just feels like it was made for me. So Sanderson, if you're ever looking for ARC readers, also, I need to see the cover for this. I really hope they go for like an illustration, just like over the top illustration with this guy with a guitar and lots of like fantasy stuff. That would look so cool. Please do like a really cool full illustration. I hope it doesn't just get like typography or something. This needs an illustration. I need to see this illustrated. But let me know in the comments below if you're planning on checking this one out and if it sounds of interest. I am most certainly interested, if that wasn't clear from the video. Thank you very much for watching. Urullian